Mic testing, mic testing. This is Simon Karaoke coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. And I've started with mic testing intentionally because of some interesting things that happen in my circles. I've been pastoring a spiritual leader for many years, from the 90s. And whenever people in the church overtalk, for example, they were given 5 minutes to give a testimony, and now they have exceeded, it's now 7, 10, 15 minutes. Strategy normally employed to silence their voice is the person in charge of the public address system mutes you, so that you are talking there, but your mic is off, so people cannot hear you. So this is one of the strategies that people employ. They see that they want to silence your voice. Let me share with you another story, and I'll tell you about the issue of how our voices have been silenced in Kenya. Voice of President Ruto has been silenced, the voice of Raila Odinga has been silenced, the voice of members of parliament has been silenced, and the voice of the church has been silenced. And I'll share with you how those voices have been silenced. But I want to give you an interesting story. I was made the chairman of the committee that was going to receive His Excellency President Mwai Kibaki in South Africa in 2009. And this committee comprised of people in key positions in the public service in South Africa, in working for the different international bodies, United Nations. Others were doctors, others were lecturers within the university. But there was one fella who was co-opted into this committee that seemed to be taking us back, and just making the meetings impossible and difficult, and making threats that would come with the Juakali people and blah blah blah. And as the chairman, I was getting frustrated, but I didn't show it. But later I spoke to one of the people working for the embassy who was part of the committee, and asked them, why was this person suggested to be part of the committee? And this person said to me, the passenger told me to tell you that don't kick out this person from that group. In fact, give them a position, if possible, even a security position. And that was one of the ways of silencing them. And we did that. I looked at the whole thing. It was actually a game changer strategy, because I then gave this person a position, and His Excellency the President was so happy with our document, the one we presented, and the gathering there in Pretoria in one of the hotels with big numbers that came. So I'm sharing that to say, to give you ideas of how voices can be silenced. And this is regarding Kenya, because I can see the president is frustrated because possibly is short of ideas of how to silence the Gen Zs. In the olden time, during Moi's time, one of the ways of silencing the people was to give them diplomatic positions far away from the grassroots. If they noted that you are talking and you are highlighting the problems in government and this, and you're outspoken, what they will do is call you and give you a position, maybe as an ambassador in Canada or one of those countries. So you are far removed from the grassroots. And so even if you speak like I'm speaking from Melbourne, it's not the same like speaking from when you are there in the country. That was one of the ways of silencing the voices. Another way that they used to use, of course, was force and torture. There was Nyayo House. They call you, they beat you up, they threaten you, and things like that. Of course, an ultimate way they used was also to kill, assassinate people like Robert Ouko, J.M. Karaoke, recently Albert Ojwang. That is one of the ways they use to silence the voices. Another way is to call you and what they've done with Honorable Raila Odinga, and whatever he was given, muted him. It muted him. Even when he was trying to speak during Sabasaba, nobody is listening to him. Even his community is not listening to him, because he has received a handout. And this is what has been done to even the church. The church is incapable of speaking because they are beneficiaries of the system. So I'm sharing this, but let me put it in context, because I want to bring the issue of you not to forget the different ways voices are silenced. And I'm praying that the voices will not be silenced anymore, that we'll regain our voice, where we have, one, been silent in crisis. So S number one, I'm going to use what I call the SCOPE strategy. SCOPE. SCOPE. SCOPE strategy. Never forget it. And use it as an audit to see whether your voice has been silenced. SCOPE. Don't be silent in crisis. Silence in crisis. And this is what Mordecai told Esther, that if you are silent in this crisis of genocide or annihilation of your people, help will come from elsewhere. So when we keep silent in crisis, it is one of the ways our voices have been silenced. So the baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, really the Gen Z is what they are saying. We ought to have said it a long time ago, but we have been silenced in crisis. C for compromise of conviction. Compromise of conviction. Compromise of, when we compromise our convictions, do we believe that justice be our shield and defender? Do we believe in the value of human life? The human rights that are there in our constitution, do we believe in them? Compromise of conviction. O for over talking and saying nothing. Over talking and saying nothing. For example, part of the reason the current government is in problems is they over-talked during campaigns. Over-talking and saying nothing. So, of course, we believed that when they were over-talking, they would deliver. But their words they were meant to show intent of helping the Mama Mboga, the Boda Boda, but now we are realizing they were just over-talking. In Kikuyu, they say kuganagweka. We must talk and do. Kuganagweka. So we are looking for a government that can talk and do. Kuganagweka. Kuganagweka. So O for over talking and sometimes saying nothing. Do our words carry weight? You know, the frustration. Okay. P for public trust. Lost. Public trust. And this is what has happened in Kenya. The public have lost trust in the government because of betrayal, because of extrajudicial killings, because of corruption, because of this and the other. Public trust. That's the way we lose our voice. E for eaten by the system. Eaten by the system. There were those who were critics of the current government, but now they are in it. And they no longer talk. In fact, when the current government came into power, it was very quiet because people were eaten by the system. You see, when you're eating, you can't talk much. But if the plate is removed from you, then you begin talking. Eaten by the system. So, silence in crisis, compromise of conviction, over talking and saying nothing, public trust lost, and E for eaten by the system. Mic testing. Are you still there? Did you hear me? Have a lovely day. God bless you. Simon Karaoke from Melbourne, Australia. Bye.